Okay, so part D here, this one, honestly, this one, made smoke come out of my ears. Okay, they want us to draw, on the axis below, draw a graph to show the variation with distance x along the water, the surface of the displacement d of the water surface at time t is 0.07 seconds, right? So this is a graph, right? We've got to read this graph and make another graph, but instead this axis is x. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh, right? But remember, we know some things about this wave, right? And this is going to be how the wave looks on the water, right? And we'll know that its wavelength is 2 centimeters, right? So it's going to repeat a cycle in 2 centimeters. We have to decide whether it's sine or cosine, right? Um, and we just have to figure out where it starts and whether it's sine or cosine or what it's doing, right? And then we ought to be able to draw it. So let's take a look at 0.07. We look at this thing. And here is literally, this is 0.07 right here. Okay, whoops. Kind of didn't hit that exactly right. So 0.07 is right here. And honestly, it's coming across like right there. So we are starting at 1, 2, 3 squares below, right? So 3 squares, each square is 0.4 millimeters, right? Because there's 5 of them in 2. And so 3 times 0.4 is negative 1.2. So we're starting at negative 1.2, which I guess is just like right there. Okay, and then we're going to go down, right? We're going to start, it's going to look kind of like a negative sign, I guess, right? By the way, we were at the origin 1 square earlier, right? So everything's sort of flipped over. Notice that if we have 2 centimeter wavelength, right, we're going to go through a cycle, and if we're going to shift it over here, we're going to go down to 8, and we're going to hit that 1 square earlier than, because this is a quarter of the way through the wavelength, right? Then we're going to hit 0 a square before this, because we started a square earlier, right? Then we're going to go through 8 here, wait, a square before this, and then through the origin again, a square before that, and then we're going to, right, we're just shifted, basically we're shifted back a square, and then it's just negative sign, right? Negative sign, because we start here, right, and go down. So let's draw this. Let's see, a square here, right, and then we're going to hit this at a square there, and then I like to draw where it hits, right, and then just draw your negative sign away. Whoa, I'm really bad at this. You'll draw a much better one. There we go, right? Anyway, yeah, happy hunting. This one really threw me for a loop.